Hey everyone, Michael Vrlaku here. Hope you're having a good week. Let's cut through the noise and talk straight about what's really moving the housing and mortgage markets right now. It's been a wild ride, and there's some big news you need to know. First, a quick look back at last week, May 5th through the 9th. We saw mortgage rates tick up again, with the 30-year fixed hitting around 6.81%. That's tied to the 10-year Treasury yield creeping higher, and honestly, it's making affordability a real headache for a lot of buyers. Because of that, and just general economic jitters, we saw mortgage applications dip. Buyers are hesitant, and you can't blame them. Also, last week, there was a lot of talk about the looming U.S. China tariffs. These trade tensions were front and center, and honestly, they were threatening to push inflation higher. President Trump mentioned talks in Geneva were very good, but details were sparse. One bright spot last week? New home sales actually did better than existing homes. Builders are offering incentives, and with inventory still super tight on the existing side, new construction is picking up some slack. Now, the really big news that dropped yesterday, May 12th. The U.S. and China announced a 90-day tariff reduction. This is huge. The U.S. is slashing tariffs on Chinese imports from a crazy 145% down to 30%. China's cutting theirs on U.S. goods from 125% to just 10%. This is a de-escalation after a lot of trade war fears that were honestly rattling everyone. How did the market react? U.S. stock futures surged. S&P 500 up 2.7%, NASDAQ 100 up 3.8%. There's optimism, but it's a 90-day window. Both sides want to avoid a full-blown embargo, which Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent pointed out. What could this mean for us? Potentially, it could ease some of the inflation pressure. If bond yields cool off because of this, we might even see mortgage rates stabilize or maybe even dip a bit. But again, that 90-day clock is ticking. Trade talks actually have to deliver something solid to prevent those tariffs from snapping right back. So, what are we watching this week, May 12th through the 16th? These indicators are going to show us how that tariff news is really going to play out in the housing market. May 14th, Consumer Price Index, CPI. This is the big one for inflation. If this report comes in cooler, maybe helped by the tariff relief, it could definitely take some pressure off rates. May 15th, Producer Price Index, PPI, and retail sales. PPI tracks wholesale inflation, what businesses are paying. Retail sales show how consumers are spending. Both are key snapshots of the economy's health. May 15th, NAHB Housing Market Index. This is what builders are feeling. Their confidence signals future supply, and with inventory still tight, this is vital. May 16th, Housing Starts and Building Permits. These show the pace of new construction. Again, this is critical for inventory levels going forward. So, with the tariff news and all this data coming, what's your move? Buyers, this tariff relief could create a window for more stable rates. Don't wait around. Get pre-approved now. Lock in your buying power, especially if you're looking at FSBO deals. Speed wins in those situations. And remember, I can help you navigate those and even offer buyer rebates and home warranties. Sellers and agents. Buyer caution is still a thing, but new homes are hot because of the inventory crunch. Price your home competitively. Make sure financing options are clear to potential buyers. If you're selling FSBO, this is where you can really stand out and attract buyers. Refinancers. Keep a close eye on rates this week, especially if CPI is cool. If rates dip, review your current loan terms and be ready to jump on an opportunity. Look, this tariff reduction is a jolt to the market. It's good for stocks, and it could ease inflation, which ultimately helps stabilize mortgage rates. But we've got that 90-day clock ticking, and the trade talks plus this week's data, CPI, PPI, housing starts, are going to be the real deciders of what happens next. Knowing how all these pieces connect is what lets you be proactive, not just reacting to the headlines. That's the breakdown for this week. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel for these weekly updates. I'm breaking it down just like we're talking over the fence. What do you think about this tariff news? Drop a comment below and let me know your take. All right, stay sharp, and I'll talk to you next week.